بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. And we are continuing with our studies of تعبير القرآني, the book by Dr. Fadil As-Samirai. And we had reached a point where he was giving evidences to support his argument that the Quran uses words in a very specific, very intentional, very deliberate way. And he had mentioned, I think when we started this discussion, he talked about, quite a bit. He talked about, I think, matar and ghayth. There was something before that. Rih and riyah, matar, ghayth. Ayn for seeing, the ayn for seeing and ayn for spring. So he distinguished between the plural al-uyun and al-a'yun. And then awsa and wassa. And then we had finished off yesterday with the discussion of yushaqu and yushaqiq. Okay, so that's where we were. And he had given some examples on the usage of yushaqiqu, where the split happens. And he mentioned that the split happens when the mention of the Prophet ﷺ is also there. So when Allah and the Prophet are mentioned, then the split happens. But otherwise, there's no split that happens. And that's what we're going to look at today. That's where we're starting. Okay, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. I see Fawzia has a question. Yes, please. You can go on.
So my question was, even though he's not stated it explicitly, he is actually talking about the self-business of a word. And he's just brought it to our attention. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. In this particular example, yes.
Yes. So he doesn't really go into it himself. He just brings it to our attention that there is a split, and he's bringing it to our attention that the split is whenever the Prophet is mentioned alone, or both Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Prophet is mentioned.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So that's the argument. And remember, he's just giving evidence to support the argument that the Quran uses words in a very specific way. So you can see the examples he's giving, it's different. Like at first, there was the example of riyah, which is plural, and rih, the singular version. And then we went to a'yun and uyun, which are both plurals of the same word. And then he gave matar and ghayth, which refer to the same concept but different things, and they may have certain subtleties as well. Matar and ghayth may have different meanings because they're different words. And now he's giving us yushaqu and yushaqiq. And in this case, yushaq, we know the three majzoom versions of this mudari'. So yushaqa, yushaqi, and yushaqiq. So he says yushaqa and yushaqi. I don't know if yushaqa is used in the Quran. Maybe yushaqi version only. We shall see. So he's comparing the two majzoom versions of this word. That's what he's comparing here. Okay. All right, let's see here who has raised their hands. So we have Saima and Fawzia. So Saima, you can begin. You can read like half of it, and we'll see. Probably we can finish this page. And then Fawzia can read the rest.
I'm not seeing the screen.
Oh. Is it not showing?
It's showing.
It's showing?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
What?
I'm so sorry. I think something of mine is not working properly. I'll fix it and I'll then read.
Okay. I thought there was a guide here. What's happening? Okay. Okay, Fawzia, you can go ahead then.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. في حين قال ذلك بأنهم شاقوا الله ورسوله ومن يشاق الله فإن الله شديد العقاب. That is because they opposed Allah and His Messenger, and whoever opposes Allah, certainly Allah is severe in punishment.
Beautiful.
Is severe punishment. وَلَعَلَّهُ وَحْدَ الْحَرْفَيْنِ وَأَدْغَامَهُمَا في حرف واحد لأنه ذكر الله وحده وفكهما وأظهرهما لأنه ذكر الله ورسوله فكان اثنين. Perhaps he united the two letters and fused them in a single harf because it mentioned Allah alone, and he separated both of them and showed both of them because it mentioned Allah and the Prophet, so they became two.
Beautiful. I think this is pretty straightforward. Maybe we can figure this part out and then we can continue. There's really not a lot of complications happening here. So the sections, what he's comparing is يشاقق and يشاقي, like we said. And so he said في حين قال, so he said, whereas he said ذلك بأنهم شاقوا الله ورسوله, that is because they oppose Allah and His Messenger. So you can see Allah and His Messenger are mentioned. وَمَنْ يُشَاقِ اللَّهَ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ شَدِيدُ الْعِقَابِ. And whoever opposes Allah, then indeed Allah is severe in punishment. Why ذكر is mansub. Okay, we're coming there. So وَلَعَلَّهُ, لَعَلَّ, we know what لَعَلَّ is. Okay, maybe I'll just read this as a whole and then because I think somebody was saying maybe the network is sometimes choppy and they can't hear properly. So what I'll be doing, the format we'll be doing is that we do it like we did it yesterday. So somebody reads and then I read it again just to make sure that all the harakats are audible enough. Because somebody mentioned, gave me some feedback and I think it's beautiful feedback. Okay. ولعله وحد الحرفين وأدغمهما في حرف واحد لأنه ذكر الله وحده وفكهما وأظهرهما لأنه ذكر الله والرسول فكان اثنين أو فكان اثنين. All right? Yes. Okay. So now لعل, basically this is our mubtada because لعل and its ism. So that's our mubtada. So whatever comes after it is our khabar. وحد is a fi'l, to unite, to unify, to join together, to make one. That is وحد, from واحد. وحد يوحد, توحيد. Yeah, that's where it comes from that. So وحد الحرفين, so this is our fi'l. The fa'il is the inside pronoun huwa. Okay, and then الحرفين, this is nasab. Yeah, الحرفين, because this is our maf'ul bihi, right? What did he join? The two letters. وأدغمهما, and he fused them, he did idgham to them, right? في حرف واحد, in one harf. So this is another fi'l, أدغم يدغم, from أسلم family. So أدغم, هو أدغم, this the fa'il is the inside pronoun هو. And هما, of course, the attached pronoun here is going to be the مفعول به في حرف واحد متعلق جر مجرور, and then حرف واحد موصوف صفة. All right? So that's the sentence. And then you have لأنه, li is حرف التعليل, gives you the reason. Why did he do that? Why did he join, combine, unify the two letters and أدغمهما, and he fused them together into one letter, put a shadda on it. لأنه, again, أنه مبتدا, and then whatever comes after it is going to be a khabar. And our khabar is a jumla fi'liya. All right? So, and this jumla fi'liya goes all the way. Okay, we can say it goes all the way, or we can maybe just go step by step. Let's see. So ذكر الله لأنه ذكر الله وحده. Oh yeah, it goes up to there. Yeah. So now ذكر is a فعل ماضي. That's why it is not mansub, but it is, yeah, it is يعني it is مبني على الفتح, because فعل ماضي is always going to be مبني على الفتح. This is فعل ماضي. Yeah. So ذكر, هو ذكر. يعني the Quran goes back to the هو, the inside pronoun هو, because it mentioned هو ذكر الله ها مفعول به, the لفظ الجلالة is a مفعول به. So ذكر الله وحده. وحده is the حال. Okay. وحده is the حال. This is how we normally do the i'rab of this word. Whenever you see وحده, just think حال. There's another kind of i'rab, but just go with وحده. It's easier. You can say it's مفعول مطلق, but just go with حال. It's easier. Okay. So I think that part is clear. Okay, it's understood why. All right. It can be masdar. No, it cannot be masdar. Here it's a فعل ماضي. In this, I mean, it can be masdar. I'm not saying that it cannot be in general, it can be a masdar, but in this context, it cannot be a masdar. It is the فعل ماضي لأنه ذكر الله وحده. It's not لأنه ذكر, then it becomes, it doesn't make any sense because it is a mention of Allah alone. I think it makes more sense as a فعل ماضي. Who goes back to the Quran? It can also go back to Allah. This لأنه, because it, the Quran, what did it do? It mentioned لأنه ذكر الله وحده, because it mentioned. Right? Okay. And then he goes on to say وفكهما again, and he separated it, or he split both of them. Now the two harfs, again, this goes back to harfaini. Yeah. And وفكهما, and he split the two letters huma, وأظهرهما, and showed them and presented them, manifested them. Why? لأنه ذكر الله والرسول فكان اثنين, because he mentioned Allah and the messenger فكان اثنين. So فكهما فعل ماضي, inside pronoun هو, فاعل هما مفعول به, أظهرهما, same thing happening here because it's معطوف. وأظهرهما فعل ماضي, the dua is the inside pronoun هو, هما is the مفعول به. لأنه لام, again, of لام التعليل. So this متعلق part here is giving the reason why. And then you have أنه مبتدأ, then ذكر, this section is our خبر في محل رفع of لأن. Okay, and inside that خبر is a جملة فعلية. ذكر فعل ماضي, he mentioned, or it mentioned what? اللفظ الجلالة is a مفعول به, and then والرسول is معطوف to اللفظ الجلالة. فكان, you can say this is فا حرف عطف, then it became كان, both of them. So this is of اسم كان, and كان and its اسم. So this is our مبتدا, and that's why our خبر here اثنين is نصب, because it's the خبر of كان. Why Allah is مرفوع? Where? I don't know where Allah is where the لفظ الجلالة is مرفوع.
Sister Elam, I see it. I think it's a typo error that the one حرف واحد لأنه ذكر الله. I see the dhamma over there. Is it dhamma or is it?
So you're saying Allah is the one who mentioned alone?
No. Yeah, it looks like a dhamma to me. It's not dhamma, right? You put a fatha on it, right?
Yeah, this is a fatha.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
it's a fatha.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions there? Is that part clear? It's a pretty straightforward part. Unless there's clarification, guys, feel free to ask for clarification. Okay, Fawzi, you can read the next line.
The khususiyat الاستعمال مالي
خصوصية. Could you read
في
the last حركة?
خصوصياتي till,
Why?
because I was joining it. I don't mean it for it to be سكون. It's خصوصيات.
So what do you, okay. So if it is sukun, then it's majzoom.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not.
What is it?
It's kasra.
Okay, so if it's a kasra, then it's either nasab or jar, right?
Yeah, no, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be kasra. خصوصيات too.
Okay.
And it's not proper.
Uh-huh.
Would it be? But it's mudaf, so it's okay.
Yes.
The خصوصيات الاستعمال القرآني كثيرة لا نريد أن نستخفيها الآن ولكن أردنا فقط أن نضرب أمثلة على ذلك لنتبين القصد والدقة في الاختيار الألفاظ القرآني.
Beautiful.
The specialities of Quranic usage are many. We do not want to examine them now, but we intend only that we quote its examples, and because it's in Amsilatan. Okay, its examples to for that or to that, so that we become clear of the intent and accuracy in the selection of the Quranic words. No, alfaz. Okay, yeah, Quranic words.
Yes. In the choice. في اختياري.
Ikhtiyari is choice, not selection.
Yes. Okay. Oh, selection, choice, same thing.
Okay. The choice of the Quranic words. Yes.
Or selection, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, because selecting is also choosing. Same thing. It means the same thing. Yeah. Okay, good. So let's figure out what's happening here. You want to try, Fawzia?
Okay. الخصوصيات الاستعمال للقرآني is مبتدا and كثيرة is خبر, and then this is my weak point. I don't know how to join sentences in Arabic.
If you don't see a link, don't join. If there's a chain, break the chain. Yes.
Yeah. So this is a new sentence, and we have a fail mudare nahnu, and then we have and again a fail mudare. So this becomes a mazdar muawwal, and nastakhfiha, with the ha being the maf'ul. Al-an is I don't know what, it's just an ism of zarf.
Yes.
Yes. Alhamdulillah. وأتى لكن this is not harf nasab. This is the other one. This is the other one. I can't remember the other one. The light one. Which comes
just skip it. Yeah, this one is lakin. It's not lakinna.
Yeah, it's lakin. And then aradna is your fail mudare again.
Oops. Sorry about that. Yeah. Okay.
Nahnu version. And faqad is just another word which I don't know anything about. And
it just means only. Okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, Masdar Muawwal coming with the an-nadriba, and then imsilatan. Amsilatan is its maf'ul.
Mm-hmm.
And then the mutallaq ala zalika. And then this is li natabayyana, which seems like a harf, and the li is so that,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I made it natabayyana. And
Mm-hmm.
then and the maf'ul will become clear. Well, no, wait a minute. It becomes clear of the intent. So maf'ul, I'll make that maf'ul. Al-qasada wal diqqata, intent and accuracy. And then mutalliq, which begins with fi ikhtiyaril al-fazil Qur'ani.
Exactly. Okay, so I'm just going to read that and then summarize what you've done. Basically, that's what it is. So, وخصوصيات الاستعمال القرآني كثيرة. And the specific usages, the specific Quranic usages are a lot. That's what he's saying. There are a lot. لا نريد أن نقصيها الآن. We don't want to examine them right now. Okay? Because remember, we're in chapter 1, guys. He's just introducing the concept. Like, yeah, still in chapter 1. So he's saying we don't want to examine all of these things right now, and especially it's too early. We're just introducing the concept, okay? ولكن أردنا فقط أن نضرب أمثلة على ذلك. Rather, this is ولكن can also be حرف استدراك to basically add information on that. So ولكن, however, we wanted أردنا فقط, we simply wanted, or we only wanted أن نضرب, to strike أمثلة, examples على ذلك, on that. Okay. لنتبين, لي again have تعليل, shows the reason why. لنتبين, so that we can become clear of القصد, of the intent, والدقة, and the precision, في اختيار ألفاظ القرآن, in the selection or in the choice of Quranic words. All right. I think any questions there? Do we understand the relationship between? I think Fawzia did a good job in doing that. So the only thing maybe you didn't mention, Fawzia, is أردنا is our فعل here, and نضرب, this مصدر مؤول, is the مفعول به of أردنا. Okay, so it goes back to that. We wanted what? We wanted just to strike examples, to give examples. Okay, any questions on that? Clarifications?
القصد من
أن مصدر مصدر مؤول.
no القصد the word in the bracket.
القصد, intention, the intent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why is it
That'd
in
be
the bracket? It doesn't make any sense to have it in the bracket to me.
yeah, I don't know either.
Good.
I don't know.
Good that you also don't know.
Because I expected maybe the bracket will also be here, another one, but
Yeah.
they
Okay.
didn't do that. So yeah. So I guess we have to be like, I'm sure we're gonna come across some mistakes and some typos and punctuation errors like this. I guess like this one, it doesn't make sense to be in brackets.
And one thing, an naqtaqsiyaha, the ya gets a fatha because of the
Yes.
an.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you're right. Yes, you're right. أن نستقصيها. Yes.
And what about faqad? I mean,
فقط.
what's its role here?
It just means only. Like if I said I read one book only, I read only one book. قرأت كتابا فقط. I read only one book. فحسب also is another word. فحسب and فقط. They mean only.
All right.
How we label it?
That's a good question. I know this fa is fa zaida. I don't remember what this qat is because I remember we talked about this in فا زائدة, but I don't remember. This was in advanced نحو. No, advanced structures. أنواع أخرى. So I just said comes with قط and حسب, but I don't think I talked about this, did I? Yeah, so I didn't really go into details, I think. I also don't know. I don't remember what kind of words are this. قط and حسب.
But it sounded like means to cut something only.
Maybe I don't know, but they look like isms. But I will find out. I'm not so sure. But the fa is zaida. The fa I know is zaida, but qat, I don't know. Any other questions?
What does istidrak mean?
Istidrak means that you are talking about something and then you want to add on it. Yeah, so you want to give more information on it. So here we don't want to, so he says لا نريد أن نستقصيها الآن. So he gave this information and then he wants to add on that. So he said لكن أردنا فقط أن نضرب أمثلة. So we simply wanted not to examine but to add, to give examples. It is different from al-idrab, where idrab negates completely what came before. Istidrak does not negate. It does not say that this is wrong. Okay? Whereas idrab, if it was bal, for example, if it was bal here, then bal would be saying that this is wrong and this is right. That's what bal does. But lakin, it does not do that. It does not say that this is wrong, but it says rather we just wanted, this is what we wanted. Okay? So it's adding more information on what was said before.
Thank you. Clear.
Any other questions? Okay. Who else wanted to read? I don't know if you fixed your, oh, there's quite a bit. Okay. So Saima, you can read maybe up to here and then we can have a first finish.
ومع هذا استعمال رياضي الإحصائي العجيب للألفاظ.
العجي؟ العجي؟
No, the عجيبي.
Yeah.
I was عجيبي للألفاظ. فالتعبير القرآني هو في قمة الأدب والفن.
Uh-huh. Okay, so take me to the process why you thought this was Rafa al-Ajibu.
Like when I was trying to translate it, and all these were like sifas. So for alfazi, like the sentence, like I'll tell you how I was translating, and with that calculative and accurate usage, is wonderful for the words. Okay.
See?
Okay, got it. So there's the wonderful calculative mathematical usage for the words. But still I'm feeling that this sentence is incomplete.
Yes.
Fatawirul Quran. Oh, so this is the Mubtada. Fatawirul Qurani. Oh,
there we
so
go.
the Quranic expression, they are in the like the epitome. They are in the epitome of adab. Is adab?
Yeah. Adab is literature. Fun is art.
Art. And okay, with that wonderful statistical and mathematical, like calculative uses for the words. Alhamdulillah. Now.
Okay, great. So I'm just going to repeat that and then we can break it down. So ومع هذا الاستعمال الرياضي الإحصائي العجيب للألفاظ فالتعبير القرآني هو في قمة الأدب والفن. This is قمة الأدب والفن. Again, والفن. All right. So first of all, I think this fa is kind of like an extra fa, or one thing before we go into this structure, you have to understand how the author is speaking. That's why it's very crucial when we're reading this book, we understand the style of the author. The author is speaking in very exaggerative, very emotional, very like in a very different way. It's not a statistical book. It's a book that is trying to convince you of something. It's trying to provide evidence, but at the same time trying to win you over, if you will. So he's speaking in a very captivating way. And that's why you will see like the way he speaks, muta'alliqs would always be in the beginning, and then he will speak in a very unique, weird way. So that has to be at the back of our minds always. Then we can be able to understand this text. So he's saying all this. So ma'a, we know ma'a is harf jar. And of course, whatever comes after it is going to be the majroor. So this is jar majroor beginning a chain. Okay, and then هذا is ismul ishara followed by a pointer plus al. So this becomes our musharun ilay. So this continues, and then this musharun ilay has a sifa and another sifa and another sifa. Okay, so it has sifa 1, sifa 2, sifa 3. Okay, so this whole part is one bucket. This is our M, B, something, متعلق bil something. But in this case, because we have a khabar, a mubtada, so this is going to be a متعلق bil khabar. Okay, so this is our متعلق bil khabar number 1. Then you have lil alfadi, متعلق bil khabar number 2. Sorry?
I'm so sorry.
Okay, no problem. Mudaf. Somebody saying mudaf. Mudaf. Where are you saying of mudaf?
About ma'a?
Oh, special mudaf. Yes, special mudaf. Yeah. So this is going to be a muta'alliq. Special mudaf, muta'alliq. Yeah. And then lil alfadi muta'alliq bil khabar number 2. So that means that whatever comes, this we have to look for a khabar or a fa'il. So التعبير القرآني, this again موصوف صفة, is our مبتدا. And then this is basically a sentence. So التعبير القرآني هو في. So again you can see how he's speaking. Like his tone is really trying to captivate you. التعبير القرآني هو في قمة الأدب والفن. He's really trying to win you over. So again, you have another مبتدا here. في قمة الأدب والفن. Again, another متعلق بالخبر. So it's like saying this. التعبير القرآني هو في قمة الأدب والفن مع هذا الاستعمال الرياضي الإحصائي العجيب للألفاظ. Or you can even bring this before that. So you can say التعبير القرآني هو في قمة. Yeah, that's the way. That's the way to look at it. التعبير القرآني مع, you can even say, you can bring this مع right there. So you can say التعبير القرآني مع هذا الاستعمال الرياضي الإحصائي العجيب للألفاظ هو في قمة الأدب والفن. It's basically saying the same thing. I don't know if I made any sense there or if I confused someone. I'm not so sure.
Sister Ilhan?
Yeah.
So you said ma is harf of jar.
Sorry, yeah, somebody corrected me. Mudaf, special mudaf.
So how it's MBK1 because
it's special mudaf.
Okay.
So mudaf, sorry, it's a special darf. Why do I keep saying? What is? It's a darf. I keep saying special mudaf. Special, what is it called? Yeah, special mudafs. That's what we learned, right? Is that the name that was given to it?
Right.
Yeah,
right.
it's special mudaf, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
yes, okay. Yeah. Special mudafs. Yeah. They're treated like darfs, like they come into that bucket. So this will be our muta'alliq. Like for example, duna will be a special mudaf, so that will be a muta'alliq as well. Or tahta, that will be like not a special mudaf, but a darf. What other one? I don't remember the others, but yeah. Okay, can we translate this one more time? Yes. I would do the literal translation as it appears, and then we can fix it. And with this statistical, mathematical, wonderful usage of words, the Quranic expression is at the peak of literature and art. So that was a literal translation, the way it is. Or you can say Quranic expressions are at the peak of literature and art with this mathematical, statistical, wonderful usage. So basically what he's saying is I have provided some evidence to you to show how words have been used, right? We've compared different words and how they have been used. Now with this kind of usage, you understand how Quranic expressions are at the peak, at the top of literature and art. Yeah?
Sriram, can you please repeat the translation? I'm a little lost.
Okay. ومع هذا الاستعمال, and with this usage, but then this usage has صفas. So, and with this wonderful statistical, mathematical usage, with this mathematical usage that he has explained before, how this word is used here and how this word is used here. So with that kind of usage, تعبير القرآن, Quranic expressions are at the top or at the peak of literature and art. In other words, the Quran is at the top because of this kind of, the way it uses words. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Good. And okay, the Quranic expressions with this wonderful statistical mathematical usage of words are exactly beautiful. That's it, Fawzia. Yeah, that's it. Okay, let's see how much we have left here. Okay, you can finish off. Who's reading? Saima?
فإنك إذا نظرت إلى أي ضرب من ضروب التعبير فيه وجدته, you will find it. So this will be مفعول وحدة متكاملة ليس فيها نبوغ ولا اختلاف.
Yeah. ولا اختلاف. Yeah. Okay.
So certainly when you will see
نظرت نظر
observe
when you will past tense ماضي.
Okay. Oh, when you observed, like إذا translate takes the meaning into future.
Oh yes, sorry. How did I miss that? Yeah. Yes, takes the meaning into future. Go on. You're right.
When you will observe towards any of the examples of expression in it, you will find it Matakamilatun is like they are unity, like complete unity, complete sync. Laysa fiha, there is not in it nubuwan, that is disagreement, wala ikhtilafun, and difference.
Yes. Beautiful. Okay, so let's figure out what's happening. So فإنك إذا نظرت إلى أي ضرب من ضروب التعبير فيه وجدته وحدة متكاملة ليس فيها نبو ولا اختلاف. All right. So if you were to look at any style from the styles of expressions in it, you would find a perfect unity that doesn't have any disagreement or difference. Is that clear what he's saying? Okay, so let's break down the grammatical breakdown. So فإنك إنك and its اسم. So that's our مبتدا, and then whatever comes after it is going to be a خبر في محل رفع. And then we have إذا. إذا, we know it pushes meaning to the future. It is أداة الشرط, so it makes it a conditional sentence. And sometimes you can even say it is a مضاف. Okay, so that's إذا. نظرت, this is our فعل شرط. Okay, so this is the فعل that is following the أداة الشرط. So this is our فعل شرط, and it's فعل ماضي, and the one who's doing it is أنت. Okay, so أنت is a فاعل. And then إلى أي ضرب من ضروب التعبير, this whole thing is one جار مجرور متعلق بالفعل number one. So you can see that there's no break in that chain. إلى is حرف of jar. أي is the اسم مجرور connected. أي is a مضاف, مضاف. And then ضرب is مضاف إليه. And then ضرب من, this من is متعلق to ضرب. Okay, it's connected to that. It's من تبعيدية. So it's saying this from this, like a piece of a cake from the whole cake. Yeah. So من ضروب is a حرف of jar, and it's a مجرور. ضروب is light, no al. So this is our مضاف, and التعبير is the مضاف إليه. So you see how that whole chain is connected. And this is a متعلق بالفعل أو متعلق to نظرت. Okay. And then of course فيه is متعلق number 2. متعلق to نظرت number 2. So now we said إذا. This is all part of the condition. إذا is a conditional, it's a conditional حرف or particle, conditional particle. So that first part is a condition. Then what will happen if you looked? This is what will happen. وجدت. So this part begins our, don't know why my pen today is just messed up. It's not doing properly, but okay. So وجدته, this starts our jawab part. What will you find? What does that mean called? من تبعيدية. بعض, from بعض. بعض يبعض تبعيد. Family too. بعض. Yeah. Mean of parts, like part of a whole. Okay. وجدت. So we were going into the jawab, and you can see there's no fa because the نظرت and وجدت are both فعل ماضي, so you don't really need a fa. Okay. So وجدته, you would find this is our فعل. The فاعل is أنت. وجدت. What would you find? وجدته, and again وجد, you would find this is the kind of فعل that takes 2 مفعول بهs. So sorry, it takes a مفعول به, and what does it do? Why am I forgetting? Yes, it takes a مفعول به and a حال. So you would find it. This is our first مفعول به. And then how would you find it? وحدة متكاملة, موصوف صفة, a perfect unity. You'd find it as a perfect unity. Is that clear, Sofa?
Yes.
Okay. And then later,
Sister,
go ahead.
what's making durub light? Min durubi?
It's a mudaf.
Mudaf, right?
Yeah. So this is the mudaf and this is the mudaf ilayh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then we have laysa. This is a new sentence. So laysa and its ism, it's going to form a mubtada. So we have to look for the ism. We have laysa, and then after laysa, we have a jar majroor. So this cannot be our ism. So that's why nubuwwun is rafa, because this is the ism laysa. Okay. And laysa and its ism form the mubtada, and this is our muta'alliq bil khabar of laysa, or muta'alliq bi laysa. Then you have wala اختلاف. So this one is ma'tuf to nubuwwun, and that's why. So we are saying there's no this nor this, neither this nor this kind of statement. Yeah, there is neither disagreement or difference. Is that clear? Any questions there?
Is the khabar of inna going all the way till the jawab end, which is wahidan mutakalimatan, correct?
It's going all the way to wal ikhtilaf. All that is the khabar of innaka.
Oh, it goes all the way till the end.
Yeah, because let's see. Yeah, yeah, it can go all the way to end. You can stop here, but you can go all the way up to the end. Because it's talking this ليس فيها نبو ولا اختلاف is when you look into a style. You won't find difference and disagreement. So it's still connected to part of the styles. So in other words, it's saying if you looked into a particular style of Quranic expressions in the Quran, you would find it a perfect unity, that unity, again, doesn't have any difference and ikhtilaf. So all that is the khabar. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Jazakallah.
This Laysa sentence is for this mutakamil.
Laysa sentence?
ليس فيها نبوء ولا اختلاف. This is a sif to this متكاملة and وحدة.
Yes, you can look at it as a sifa to that. Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions?
Sister Alam, can you repeat what was, I'm sorry, I missed it, the khabar portion, what were you discussing?
Oh, so Fawzia was asking, like, where does the khabar of innaka, so we have innaka here as the mubtada, where does the khabar end? So she was thinking maybe it ends here, at this point. And then laysa fiha nubuwwun wala ikhtilaf is separate. But I feel like it's more convincing that it goes all the way to the end, because laysa, we can analyze it like Saima said, it's a sifa, so we can connect it to that, because this discussion of laysa fiha nubuwwun wala ikhtilaf is going back to the dhurub, to the dharb. Yeah, it's going back to the style. If you looked at the style, you would find it. How would you find it? وحدة متكاملة ليس فيها نبو ولا اختلاف. That's how you would find it. So this whole thing is kind of connected.
Okay, got it. Okay, so Laysa is the sifa of wahdatan mutakamila?
Yeah.
Okay. And the ha is going back to wahdatan mutakamila?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Jazakallah khair.
Yeah. Any other questions there? Okay, Afroz, you can try and do this last part.
بسم الله. فإذا نظرت إلى التوكيد مثلا وجدته على it's not pronouncing it correctly. تباعدي.
So تساهل.
Okay, مثل مصدر تباعد موادنه وتفرقها في القرآن.
وتفرقها. تفرق يتفرق تفرق.
وتفرقها في القرآن وحدة فنية متكاملة متناسبا في كل مواطن مع السياق الذي ورد فيه منسقا معه ومنسقا مع كل المواطن المواطن الأخرى التي ورد فيها التوكيد.
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 Why التوكيد؟
من which where
ورد.
mentioned. توكيد is mentioned.
توكيد is mentioned.
Okay, fine.
So
التوكيد.
توكيد.
Okay.
Oh, good.
So, so when you see at the emphasis, for example, you will find it at separate places, different emphasis in Quran. In Quran, individually, artistically, faniyatan, artistically, right? Mutakamilatan means complete. Complete. Mutanasiban in proportion. In fi kulli mawatin, in at every places with the context which with the context which is mentioned in it. Well, munassaqan means well arranged with that, and well arranged with each other places, which is meant other places where the tawqid is mentioned.
Okay, yeah. All right. So let's unpack this. This is a bit of a lengthy section, so I'm just going to read it fast. So فإذا نظرت إلى التوكيد مثلا وجدته على تباعد مواطنه وتفرقها في القرآن وحدة فنية متكاملة متناسبا في كل موطن مع السياق الذي ورد فيه منسقا معه ومنسقا مع كل المواطن الأخرى التي ورد فيها التوكيد. Okay, so let's break it down. So I'm going to explain the meaning before we get into the grammar, what he's trying to say. So he's saying فإذا نظرت إلى التوكيد مثلا. If you were to look at tawkid, for example. So let's not lose the picture what he's saying. So he introduced an idea here. He introduced the idea that if you were to pick a style from the styles of Quranic expression, yeah, pick a style from them, what would you find? And you looked at this style throughout the Quran, what would you find? You would find that it is a complete unity, like it's a perfect unity, and there's no difference. There's no disagreement in how they were used. That's the point he has introduced. And to prove his point, he's saying, let's take an example of tawkid. So if you were to look at tawkid, for example, what would you find? وَجَدْتَهُ tawkid. You would find the tawkid. Now, here is where we need to unpack a little bit. You know how in English, when you're writing or when you're reading something and then there's a hyphen there, and then there's a hyphen, it means like, it's like a jumla i'tiradiyya, like I'm adding some information in between that is not like, I don't know if, let me see if I can give an example. Okay, I read a book despite its length in 2 days. I think you've ever seen something like this, right? So this is what is happening in this part, okay? So the author is saying something, yeah, like a semicolon or like a hyphen or something. Like what I wanted to say is I read a book in 2 days. That's what I wanted to say. But I didn't exactly say I read a book in 2 days. This is what I wanted to say. I read a book in 2 days. But instead of just plainly saying I read a book in 2 days, I wanted to add something so that you understand maybe how awesome I am. Because, yeah, I read a book in 2 days. It's not anything undoable. It's doable. But I was like, despite its length, like you have to understand, maybe it was like a really big book, but I read this book despite its length in just 2 days. So now you appreciate something extra is being said. This is what the author is saying. So he's saying, if you looked at tawkid, for example, you would find, if we are to close this part, let's not look at it, let's not look at this part, then we see that وجدته, you would find it وحدة فنية متكاملة. So that part is clear. It's basically like what we had done here. So you would find it. How would you find it? You would find it as a complete artistic unit. That's how you would find it. Okay? You'd find it as a complete artistic unit. متناسبا. Mutanasiban means in conformity. I like that word better when translating mutanasiban as opposed to proportionate. So you can say in conformity في كل موطن مع السياق الذي ورد فيه, up to their point, which is in proportionate or in conformity or in agreement even. You can say in agreement in every place regarding the text, the context that it is found in or that it is mentioned in. Is that part clear so far? Without explaining this parenthesis, what I put in parenthesis. Like, how would you find it? You would find it as a perfect unit. And all these are hals, by the way. So, wajadtahu, this is our first maf'ul bihi, is the who. And then hal number 1, hal number 2, hal number 3, hal number 4, hal number 5, hal number 6. Lots of hals happening in this ayah. But we'll come to the grammatical breakdown in a bit. Anyway, is the understanding clear? Is the meaning clear so far? Okay, silence means yes.
Alhamdulillah.
Great. Okay, so now we come to this part. على تباعد مواطن وتفرقها في القرآن. So this part, basically he's trying to make you understand that tawkid is not, like the Quran is not arranged in a way that we follow the Quranic expressions. Like you won't find a chapter of tawkid and a chapter of, I don't know, of something else. Like that's not how the Quran is arranged. If you want to look at tawkid in the Quran, it's all over the place, right? So despite على تباعد مواطنه, despite its distant placement. تباعدي, so تباعد to become distant. تباعد, this is the تفاعل, تساءل يتساءل تساؤلا. This is the masdar. So despite is its distant placement. Distant placements. So you have the tawkid is placed in different places in the Quran. وتفرقها في القرآن. Now, this is where it gets a bit interesting. تفرق, distribution. So تفرقها في القرآن, and despite its distribution in the Quran, what is being talked about here? تفرقها. What is ha going back to? So we figured out تباعد مواطنه. مواطنه, the who, goes back to tawkid. Okay, the different placements of the tawkid. Fine. But then, what is ha? What is ha? So this ha goes back to mawatin. Because mawatin is a broken plural. So despite the tawkid being placed in different parts of the Quran, and it's those places are differently distributed in the Quran as well. Like it's not distributed all in one surah. Like he's saying the tawkid, first of all, it's distantly placed. So they're in different places. There's a distance between this tawkid and that tawkid and this tawkid, and that's the first point. They're distantly placed. The second thing is not that they are all put in one area. These places where tawkid is found is distributed all over the Quran. So وَتَفَرُّقِهَا, and the distribution of these places in the Quran, despite the distant placement and despite those placements being distributed all over the Quran. Is that point clear? Do it basically hal of mawatin. Not hal, but sifa, because mawatin is it's not proper. But it's not actually sifa, because it says wa harf atuf. So
No, but Mawatin is proper. It is an idafa, right?
Oh yeah, it is proper. Yes, yes, you're right. Hal. Okay, but there's a harf atuf here, so this part is actually linked to that part. So it's not hal or sifa. It's more of a
we can
ma'tuf.
say why. No, oh, you can say while it is widespread in Quran.
No, because
No,
it's ma'tuf. It's not hal.
it is ma'tuf on
تتباعد مواطنه. It's connected. So he's saying despite this fact and despite this fact.
Okay, so it is ma'tuf on ala.
معطوف تتباعد.
Taba. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why it's majroor. Okay.
Yes, that's why it's majroor. Yeah. Any other questions there? Okay. So far we are saying if you're to look at tawqid, for example. Yes, go on.
To interrupt you, but I didn't understand what he's trying to say. Can you help me out here? What is he trying to say?
Yeah, I was getting there. Okay. So now that we figured out this part, this section, and we figured out this part where it's in a whatever hyphen part. So he's saying فإذا نظرت إلى التوكيد مثلا, if you were to look at emphasis, for example, so that's the condition. What would happen if you were to look at this tawkid? وجدته, you would find, what would you find? You would find it واحدة فنية متكاملة متناسبا. I think that part is clear. But before he said that, he's saying despite. So if you were to look at tawkid, for example, you would find despite the distant placements of the tawkid, and despite those placements being distributed in the Quran, you would find that the tawkid is an artistic, is a complete artistic unit that is, I'm saying that is, even though this is a hal, mutanasiban, in conformity with every place, in conformity with the context, in conformity in each and every place with the context that it is found in. Let me write that down because that's a long sentence and I think it might, I think it's better if I write it down so that you can see the parts clearly. So if you look at, because it's either, so if you look at tawkid, for example, you will find despite its distant placement, مواطنه, distant placements, and I'm going to add despite here so that it makes sense. What would you find? You'd find it as a complete artistic unit. You'd find, or you can even put commas. You can say complete artistic unit or unified even, because wahda, it could mean unified. Or you can just say mawsuf sifa and make it complete artistic unit. It's fine. Mutanasiban, in conformity in each and every place. Conformity, I wrote conformity. In each and every place. Conformity with what? With the context in which it is found. Okay, it hasn't ended there, but because there's another hal, munassaqan ma'ahu, Munassaqan, you can say harmonious. I don't know how you translated it, Afroz. I'm just gonna go with what I translated a long time ago. So harmonious with it and harmonious with every place, every other place that tawkid is mentioned. Okay, so try and read this long passage. Okay, let me make it smaller so that you can see the whole thing. Too small. Oh, too big. Okay, try and see if this sentence makes sense to you in English, and then we can unpack it.
Oh, I'm so under the water.
It's too much?
I don't know what she's talking about.
Okay, so we can let's see. This part, you can ignore this part. This part, you can ignore this whole part.
Is it possible to come up with an example? Maybe that will help. Can you think of any example of something?
Okay, maybe if I put like, let me see if I can put some punctuations that would help shorten the sentence, because it's a really long sentence. And I think that's where it gets a bit confusing. So if you look at tawkid, for example, you would find, okay, what if we take this part?
Or highlight that part, yeah.
You can even take it out completely and put it at the end. Yeah. Why not? So if you look at tawkid, for example, you would find it complete artistic unit, or you can even find it as, because it's a hal, you find it as a complete artistic unit that is in conformity. So I'm just trying to make English easier. That is in conformity in each and every place. Okay, we can even remove this, because this is just stressing. It's in conformity with the context in which we found. You would also find it harmonious with it. So that's kind of like how it goes. Okay, let's see if this makes a little bit more sense. I'm even gonna help you out and put numbers. So you would find it, number one, complete artistic unit. Number two, that is in conformity with the context in which it's found. Number three, harmonious with it, and harmonious with every other place the tawkid is mentioned. Is that English making any sense?
Yes. So sister, wahdatan is the hal,
yes,
and faniyatan and mutakamilatan, this is the sifa of wahdatan.
You can look at it like that, yes.
And then mutanasiban is the second hal.
Yeah.
And then munassikan.
Or you can even look at this as a sifa as well. You can even say mutanasiban is another sifa. Munassaqan also, you can also look at it as a sifa. I think it goes either way. Yeah.
You can see it as a complete. But if we'll put it as a, sorry, what you were saying? We'll put it as a?
I think it can go both either way. The meaning is still the same. The meaning won't change much whether you look at it as a sifa or a hal. Because again, remember, there's a very close relationship between a sifa and a hal. They're very close to each other. So the meaning doesn't change much. So whether you look at it as a hal or you look at it as a sifa, I think the meaning still stays the same. So whether you look at mutanasiban as the sifa of wahda, so you would be saying that, this is why you put the that here, that is in conformity. So this unit is in conformity. Or if you look at it as a hal, you're just saying tawkid is in conformity with the context, which is the same thing. right?
Okay, I understood what he's saying with mutanasiban bikulli mawdin ma'asiyab. Okay, so the tawqid is according to the context, what the context requires. So that kind of tawqid is there. I understand this. Okay. What actually he means by munassaka? What is munassaka? I don't understand. What do you mean by harmony? What do you mean?
Like it's harmonious. The tawqid is in harmony with the context. Wherever it is found, it is in harmony. What is the other word? Munassaqan. Let me see.
No, but he said like munassaban ma kulli mawatin ukhra, like at all other places where the tawqid is, it is in harmony with that. So what does he actually mean by that?
Oh, well coordinated. That's a good, well arranged. Well coordinated is a good word.
Well coordinated. Okay.
Yeah, well coordinated. So if you look at tawqid in, for example, one surah, and you look at that same tawqid in another surah, you would see a connection. You would see they're actually well coordinated. They're in harmony. They're not disagreeing with each other.
Like they're used in the same way? Is that what he said?
Yes. That could be one point. Like the way this tawqid is used in this surah is the same way. Again, remember, he's just trying to explain the point that the Quran uses words in a very deliberate, very distinct way.
Okay. Yeah. I think we have some examples coming in on the next page, so it will be more clear.
Clear. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. We're not going to go into the next page. And I think maybe next time we will also just revise this part a little bit before we go into the next step, because I know this paragraph is a bit, it's one long sentence. That's the problem. And it can be a bit confusing.
Inshallah. Okay. Jazakallah.
Yeah, we are way over time. So I think it's about time so our brains have stopped working. I know. So we need to end this. And we can start over again, inshallah, next week when our brains are fresh with this passage. All right. Unless there's any burning thing, if there's any burning question or clarification or correction, we can take that. If there isn't, we can end, inshallah. Okay. Looks like we're good so far. Alhamdulillah. So سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Jazakallah khairan kaseeran. May Allah keep you in safety, in rahmah, and afiyah. Ameen.
Ameen.
Ameen. Walaikum assalam.